Hello. Sorry, what's up, everybody? What's up, Rasta, Inkthar, Warren, $10. Cassie, Lord, Fire Rider, Fishboy. Hope everybody's doing well on this Monday. It is the last day of March already. Quarter of the year's just vanished. Oh, I forgot that. It is flying by, yeah. Soon, the sweet release of death. As the years start flying by faster. Anytime now. Three more months on my current job, 3 weeks. Will be vacation. Nice. Gotta make sure to use those saved up days or whatever. I really like the music in here. What's up, Shezar? How are you doing? Why am I so heavy? It's filling me up that much. My junk. A lot of junk. Right, I do have quite a bit of... Visiting Greece at the end of the month for about a week. Oh, that sounds nice. Persuasion. I mean, I have an idea of what it may be used. It's a Perkin. I have too many mine. Squirt of water removed. Ice cold. Just made way too much carbonara. Now prepare for food coma. Man, I love carbonara. Would actually not mind having some of that now. Carbonara is delicious. What's up, Aquarelic? Yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. I don't know. There's something. I kind of enjoy the idea of this area and everything, but there's also something that feels off about it, and I'm not sure what it is yet. But I think it's just a side effect of it being like its own sort of separate area. Oh yeah, the fucking overdue books. I forgot about that. I was supposed to put them in. That was like the. Oh man, was that in Salem? That was all the way in Salem, I think. I forgot to give them back. That sucks. Like I'm probably never gonna. I mean, I'm whatever. I'll just throw them in there. I don't need. The junk I need to keep because I need to bring it back to the mainland with me.
Sure this is gonna work? What if we overload the processor? Could fry the whole system.
Then we salvage it for parts. You really think anyone's gonna miss this robot? Now hand me that screwdriver.
If this little personality upgrade works, it's gonna be the funniest damn thing in the park. Man, I can't wait to see the looks on the other guys' faces when they try to talk to it.
There. All done. One slightly radarized robot ready for duty.
Well, that explains the Nira personality glitch. The bristlebutt. Ah, jeez. He picked that up. There you go. Did a lot of introspection. Well, that's good, I guess. Still haven't found a source of water. Wasn't an incoherent mess. Where does that go? Can't tell if we're going up or down. Up, I think. Never mind, I think we can down. Yes. Oh yeah, I need to get the 2,000 tickets for that. Probably the bottom, right? I need those 2,000 tickets for that Nuka-Cola Quartz. Yeah, okay. Go way back down.
Sure, we carry guns, but knives are where it's at.
I didn't
It's
talk
not
to you.
fun unless you're-
Jesus. Let's go back in there.
Like a year ago, I'm running with this gang. Pretty good deal. I mean, I probably could have been in charge. I don't need that kind of hassle, right? I mean, I'm totally capable of running my own gang. Probably the best friggin' gang you've ever seen. But anyway, I hear this dude, Coulter, is putting together a huge-ass team of raiders to take over Nuka World. And I hear this, and I just gotta go check it out. You know, see if it's the real deal. Now, the guys I'm running with, they're all upset that I'm leaving. They're so upset they just keep saying, "Oh, come on, man, you have to stay. You're the best out of all of us. We're screwed without you." But I'm like, "No, man, I ain't gonna let you guys hold me back." So I go out on my own. I travel through some crazy shit you wouldn't believe even if I told you about it. And I wind up here. Now I find out who Coulter is, and I just march right up to his face and say, "Well, here I am. Now what?" And you can see right away that he was impressed. You know, he looks at me and he says, "Man, you look like hell. How long has it been since you slept?" And I say, "Well, I don't know, man. Doesn't matter. I can sleep when I'm dead." And you can see on his face that he was totally impressed, just like he knew I was the real deal. So first he says, "Man, I am impressed. You're the real deal, Red Eye. I'm gonna call you that because your eyes are bloodshot as hell and it looks really cool." He says, "You're gonna be my right-hand man because I can tell just by looking at you that I can count on you." But then, like, he stops and he sees the guitar I'm carrying and he says, "Oh, no shit, you can play?" And I look at him and I say, "I don't know, man. Can I?" Yeah, Coulter, like you said, I am the real deal. And he loses his mind, you know, he's so excited. He says, "Oh, no way, I got an even more important job for you. Get your ass into that radio station and make it amazing." Well, and here we are. Swear to you, true story. All of it, every word. Of course, Coulter ended up being kind of a chump, but I mean, you know, I knew that from the beginning. Like, I probably could have challenged him right there, you know, made myself the overboss, but, you know, whatever. I like this gig just fine. Yeah.
Nice. Can't wait to meet that guy. Sounds like he's gonna be a real
asshole,
piece
you're
of work.
listening to Raider Radio. Hey, little announcement for you idiots out there. I know you think you're really tough and that nothing scares you, but do yourself a favor and stick to Nuka Town.
Subschnur.
You go to any other parks, and odds are you ain't coming back. Don't say I didn't.
You and Coulter, you're dead. This terminal is
Here's a little something
for all of
which I
Coulter's
know
important
you
personal
always
overboss stuff. Keep your hands off.
Only this time, you've got Red Eye, the
To-do list: shake down traders, make fun of Mason, check on power armor, count caps.
Now this here is
Busy day.
and I know it's a true story 'cause I heard
Messages from
10
Gage.
different versions, 10 different guys, all of them swearing it's true.
Terminal is all set up in your quarters. Guys should be hauling in the rest of the furniture you asked for. You've done real good, man. Got farther than I thought we would, to be honest. Once we've got the gang settled and everyone's healed up, we need to start coming up with a plan for the rest of the parks. Hey boss, I've had visits from 2 of the gangs in the last day. They're not happy, man. Wondering why it's been 3 weeks and we ain't made moves on the rest of the parks. I gave them some small jobs to do. Should keep them busy for a while. You need to get a plan together, set up a to-do list on your terminal like you asked for. Still not sure why you need it. It around here is real simple. So, is this a situation where the other parks, like the other parts of the parks, haven't been like taken over, and that's why all the gangs are in that sort of small first area? 3 months, no progress. This don't look good. That's probably why Gage wanted to get rid of him and wants me to take over. Because no progress was happening. And I'm assuming he's gonna ask me to take over the other parks. We'll see. But I also have a mission to kill all the gang leaders. which I'm pretty interested in doing.
Doesn't matter,
I don't know.
guess because it ain't there no more. Andover. I think that was
The gangs want some action. You need to stop screwing around and sit down with me.
a little shithole of a town.
This one was deleted.
Junkers. The gang that my post-raid
You deleted my last message, didn't you? I'm glad we had a chance to talk.
I
Was able to smooth things over with the gangs and let them know you've got a plan. Now you just gotta make sure you tell everyone, hold a big meeting, pull everybody in that ain't on guard duty, show off. What the hell? I can't even find you. Where the hell have you been? What's this gauntlet thing that the disciples are working on? I don't care how excited they are. Wasn't the plan. We didn't spend half a goddamn year here just to waste our time on this shit. Okay. I can't keep covering for your ass. The gangs are already bored of this gauntlet of yours. New business and coming in. We're not doing shit to expand. Guys can't even set foot in most of the parks without getting killed. Scary. And no one can get a word with you because you're always tinkering with your goddamn power armor. The gangs have been demanding to see you. I finally got them all to agree. Meeting. I will have to hold because your ass isn't around. Hey boss, work things out with the gangs. It'll be just fine. Nisha says they've improved the gauntlet again. Sounds like it should be real interesting. Hope we get a real good show out of it. Have fun, boss. At this point, Gage is not, you know, not even trying to convince Coulter anymore. He's got his own plan of getting rid of him. And that's why he's being nice. And we were the result of that plan, I guess. Okay, well, let's talk to Gage and see what the plan is, which again I'm assuming he's gonna want us to take over the other parts of the park. Like yeah, I think all the gangs are in here, right? And we have to take over all. I guess that's the idea. Alright, nerd.
Welcome home, boss. The digs are yours now. I hope you like the look. Coulter had some peculiar tastes. But this view is something, huh? Everything you see here is under your control, now that you're in charge.
Everything the light touches, Simba. Why did you put me in charge?
Yeah, I still don't get it. Why put me in charge?
You may have noticed that our former overboss, Coulter, was a fucking asshole.
Sure.
And that's me being nice. Ended up being poisoned for this whole operation. The way I see it, surviving the gauntlet means you've got what it takes. Or at least the potential.
The
For a
Dex.
good while now, we've needed someone who can get shit done. Make real progress.
Let's get to work. Like the sound of that. Don't want the job. Like those two answers are just. I mean, I still don't know what. Like at this point, outside of my own deductions by looking at the terminal, I have no idea what the job is.
Hey, boss.
I feel like
we're
the
talking
first
here.
thing here should be like, okay, so what's the plan, rather than let's get to work. Like, who writes this shit? Seriously. It's blowing my mind. Who writes this and thinks this is the correct structure of things?
Any time now, boss. Now that right there is just the kind of attitude I was hoping for. Look, I'll be honest with you. This operation needs someone to step in and take the reins. Sure as hell ain't gonna be me. Leading outright ain't my style. And there's already some blaming me for supporting Coulter all this time.
Okay.
My talents are best put to use helping a new overboss get all this shit under control. You get me?
Sure. You still don't know what the job is?
What sort of talents would you say you have, Gage?
Aside from being a good shot and having a foul mouth, I've run with gangs nearly my whole life. I know how raiders think, what
What's up,
they're
Stoner?
after, and how to use that to your advantage. Trust me, I'm in this just as much as you are. This shit needs to work out.
I'm gonna be sarcastic and see again how they managed to write something that is not sarcastic at all.
Oh, sure. I understand. So, are you just gonna paint the bullseye directly on my back, or what?
I ain't gonna lie. It's a part of the reason you won't see me stepping up and running things. But I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be that bad. Let's take a step back and talk big picture, okay? Nuka World. Shit. This was the dream. Huge. Built like a goddamn fortress. You run this, world is yours. We had a good head start on it. Hell of a lot of work went into getting the disciples, the operators, and the pack to work together. But we got here. About a year ago, we push in through the front gate. Take over Nuka Town. Get these traitors under our thumb. And then, well, Coulter got lazy. He was content to sit on his ass. Never bothered putting in the effort to finish taking over the park. The gangs got restless and started pissing each other off. It is a real mess.
See, I feel like this part of the conversation should have happened right away after we killed Coulter. Which I guess technically, you know, as soon as we kill Coulter, is like, we can't talk here, let's meet in your headquarters, or like in your quarters or whatever. But this should be like the first thing we talk about. I almost feel like
we were having a conversation.
I almost feel like it's a bad decision to leave you out in the open before they at least give you the basics of like the, you know, the exposition of why that area is the way it is.
I know you got a lot on your mind. but
And I
work
think
with me here.
there's something interesting that can be like, there's something to be said about letting you explore the world a little bit and get your own first impression, and then someone explains it to you. There's definitely merit there. But I think there's like a bit of a disconnect with the way the game
Boss, you listening?
the game tells you right away, oh, you're the new leader, you can do whatever you want. But it doesn't explain anything to you. And then you're just in this world where you basically can do whatever you want. You can steal shit, you can do anything, and there's like no restriction. But you have no idea how things work.
I know you got a lot on your mind.
And you have
but
no
work
idea how
with
the
me.
situation got to what it is. I feel like there's something about the just the way this is all presented to you that's really weird.
I thought we were having a conversation.
Worst case scenario, I think the first thing when you get up here, when you finally get up here and you talk to him, the bit of conversation we just had should be the first thing out of his mouth. It should be like, okay, what's the deal? Why am I here? What's happening? Why did you get rid of Coulter? And then bam, he explains to you like, okay, here's
Ain't
what
it
happened.
time now,
Here's how we
boss?
got there. Here's why I need you to be the boss, right? Before you any of those conversations about like, oh, what are your talents? And oh yeah, this place is great. None of that shit, right? As soon as you get there, it should be like the first order of business should be, okay, here's the exposition of what that place is and what it came to be and what's the
boss.
mission so far.
You listening?
Wait, what kind of mess am I walking into here?
It was little shit at first. Heated tempers, arguments, the occasional shooting. Got worse over time, though. Gangs started staking out as much territory as they could. All being on top of each other like this. Started looking for excuses to turn on each other. If something ain't done soon to settle things down, it's gonna reach a point there ain't no coming back from.
Okay.
I can fix this. I can make this work.
Yeah? Man, I sure hope so. Look, I know these guys.
Also, okay, I have an opinion
Working
about
with
this.
them or against them for years now. I'll help you, okay? Walk you through everything. First thing you gotta do is get the gangs behind you. Without them supporting you, you're not getting shit done. You don't have to trust them. Hell, you don't even have to like them. but you need them to respect you enough to follow you.
I feel like the game's doing a very poor job at making me want to care about this situation. Story-wise, right? And I know there's options that I didn't click that say, oh, I don't care about any of this, I don't want to do this, or this is not the job I want, or whatever. And I wonder if I click that, how the game would deal with it.
Hey, boss.
Would it just
we're
let me
talking
get
here.
out of all of this, or would it just convince me or force me into it? That's, you know, that's an interesting thing. I could have tried clicking on it, but at the same time, as the player, you kind of want to engage with. This is one of those weird things, right? Where as the player, you kind of want to engage with the content. You're like, oh, I mean, there's going to be, you know, some stuff to
I
do
thought
and
we
some
were
mission
having
to
a
accomplish.
conversation.
I kind of want to do that. I don't want to click on the, oh, I'm not interested, and then risk getting completely locked out of any quests or content that's possible to do here. Which I think should be the outcome, right? If your character is like, oh, you know what, I don't want to do any of this, the game should be, you know,
I know you got a lot on your mind.
like
but
what does
work
the
with
game
me
do
here.
at this point? Does Gage kill you because you know you're not the guy he was expecting, and he's like, oh well, I can't just let you run around here. You don't want to do it, I'm just gonna kill you. And then you lock yourself out of the thing if you kill everyone because you're stronger than them or whatever. And so like as the player, there's this incentive, this natural
boss,
incentive of I am the
you
player,
listening?
I'm gonna engage with the game in the way the game wants. Which I think is a big thing in those RPGs in general, right? It's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do the quest, right? How many times do you pick up a side quest and in your mind you're like, I have no reason to do this, but I'm still gonna do it because money, whatever, you know, I want to engage with the game's
Ain't it
content.
time now, boss.
But you don't have any real story motivations to do it. And when it's a small side quest, a little thing like, oh, hey, bring this package over to the next town or whatever. You're like, yeah, whatever, I can do that, right? It's a little bit of money, it's XP, whatever, cool. But when it's a major element, like this is like the core of the DLC, right?
Hey, boss. We're talking.
This is the core of the DLC right there. This is the main story of this DLC area. I feel like the game should do a better job at motivating you through it. Giving you actual reasons to want to do all that stuff.
Ain't it time now, boss.
I don't know, it's a strange thing where like the main game's main story. You have a pretty strong story motivation
I thought we were
to
having a conversation.
engage with it. Your newborn son got, you know, stolen away from your wife's cryopod or whatever it was called. That's a pretty strong motivation to want to, you know, seek them and find them again. But then the game itself, gameplay-wise, does nothing to push you in that direction, really.
Boss.
It gives you a few
You listening?
objectives, but like, you're drowned in the mass of things to do, and you really quickly forget that you're actually kind of trying to find your son again. But then it doesn't
I know you got a lot on your mind.
It doesn't really-
but work with me here.
try to do any narrative work to motivate you through all those random things you find, and you end up being just like, oh yeah, this is a cool fucking world to explore, and I'm just going to go around and do whatever is coming up on my way because it's a video game.
Hey, boss. We're talking here.
Allowing you to decline it, forge your own way, motivating the player might be easy. Yeah, I mean, and again, that I can't have a full opinion on this because I didn't click on the options that story-wise my character should have been clicking on, right? Which is, you haven't given me any reason for me to do that. I'm not interested. I don't want to be the boss
Ain't
of
it
this
time
area.
now, boss.
I don't care about any of your, you know, problems. Just, I want to go back to the Commonwealth and find my son or whatever. That should be the real story answer of my character there.
Hey, boss.
Yeah, I
we're
mean, it's
talking
definitely a
here.
thing in most RPGs. That is true. a lot of the content you end up engaging with just because it's there, and it's, you know, it's being put in front of you, and you're like, yeah, I want to engage with the game, of course. But like, I'm thinking back to Cyberpunk, for instance, right? I never felt that way in Cyberpunk. Even though we even talked about that, right? The fact that in Cyberpunk there's this sort of urgency behind the main story that you sometimes don't really feel when you're playing the game, because, you know, you're taking your time to do a lot of stuff, and it sort of feels a bit weird based on the fact that your character is technically on like a you know, limited time frame and should be working harder to solve that problem before doing anything else. But the game still managed to make every little side quest, at least the main narrative based ones, right? Like not the little tasks that you do here and there, like very quickly for the fixers and all that. Fixers? Was it their names? I think it was. Like the little, you know, like kill the psychos or whatever. Those weren't really motivated, and that's okay. You know, it's just like a little thing you can do. But even then, you're a merc working in Night City. Working for the fixers is part of your inherent nature as a merc in Night City. Because you want to get better recognition, you want to get higher respect from the people of the city, so you can get access to more things, which could potentially help you on your quest to save yourself. So all these things were sort of like inherently better implemented in the way the game worked. And that's, I think, why a lot of the side content in Cyberpunk felt naturally involved story-wise, is because they set it up really, really well. Setting you up as a merc who is naturally going to try to do things to get higher reputation and all that, made it very logical for you to be doing any of that, all of that stuff, right? So that's a good way that I think good RPG writers can avoid the issue that I'm feeling right now with Fallout, is you have a good setup. You make the setup work for the rest of the game. But even then, even without that setup, most of the narrative side quests in Cyberpunk were set up in a way that made it feel important for your character specifically. Yeah, exactly, $10. It felt like the DLC in Cyberpunk, the way it was implemented was masterful. It really felt like it was part of the main narrative.
I know you got.
I'm very impressed with how they did that. And it's easier to do when you only have one DLC. I think this game has like several of them, right? Which I understand it may be harder, but... And also, I mean, I guess there's something to be said about how it was released, right? Like, when was this released compared to the main game, and how is it implemented in the game? But it's interesting that they didn't even try to maybe make it feel like part of the main quest for some reason. I don't know how it could have been done, right? I'm not sure.
Anytime now, boss.
Because obviously I don't have like the full picture, so maybe it was just impossible. But it makes me wonder, like, wouldn't there have been a way to just put you on on a track of maybe, you know, maybe there's hints for you to find in this location regarding the main story. I don't know, right? Again, it's hard for me to say without having a full picture.
We
but
were having a conversation.
I feel like a good writer can come up with some shit, right? That's my profound feeling, is that a good writer will come up with some shit to motivate your character. What's up, Credo? What's up, Solipsist? What's up, Wes? How are you guys doing today?
Hey, boss, we're talking here.
Would be a better way for Fallout 4 to handle it, introduce some obstacles which motivate the player to explore. I don't know. So I think when it comes to the main game, I think there's an acceptable compromise in the sense that you're trying to find your son and like hints about his whereabouts. So exploring the world naturally kind of makes sense, right? To a certain degree. exploring the world should make sense. But here's the thing, though, and that's again that's sort of one of those situations where the setup of the story is
Hey,
kind
boss,
of hurting the
we're
game.
talking here.
In that every time you get to a new location, every time you meet new people, the first question out of your mouth should be about your son, right? And it does that to a certain degree, at least at the beginning of the game. I remember like whenever we met like Preston, and
I know you got a lot on your mind.
it was something
but
that
work
came
with
up,
me here.
but I feel like you lose some like it didn't really happen recently too much anymore. And logically speaking, that's what it should be. It should be the first words out of your mouth every time you're in the new location. Is that, have you heard of, have you seen?
I thought we
I don't
were
know. I feel like the
conversation.
setup is kind of weird. It doesn't make for a very good, because it would be very repetitive and boring, right? If every time you get to a new location, you sort of investigate about if your son was here or not. It would be kind of weird. It would get very, very repetitive and boring.
Boss.
You still know
listening?
your son's name? Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Isn't it Sean, like in fucking Heavy Rain or something? Or am I
Anytime
just
now, boss.
confused? It may be Sean, I think. Like in Heavy Rain. I don't know. Maybe I'm just confused. I'm not even sure I remember. Jason, I don't know.
Boss.
Yeah, this is just
You
cryo-amnesia. It doesn't matter, right? It's not a problem. I'll know when I find him. The UI is gonna tell me, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you get my point.
I thought
About
we were having a
how-
conversation.
I think the way the game set up those stories in open world RPGs is very important. Because it can serve the game or it can work against it. I think in the case of Fallout 4, it's working against you and against the writers. It seems like a good motivation
Anytime
when you
now,
look at
boss.
it on the surface level. It's like, oh yeah, you're seeking someone that's important to you. It's going to motivate you to get out there and look for them. But then if you really think a little bit further and how that would color the story of the character going forward, it becomes apparent that it's actually working against the writers
Hey,
instead
boss,
of
we're talking
favoring
here.
them. As opposed to the Merc setup of something like Cyberpunk, right? Which sort of makes everything naturally part of the life in Night City. What's up, Shepard?
I know you got a lot on your mind.
I don't know.
but
It's
work
not something I really have. I haven't really thought about that at any point before tonight. Just now, like realizing how I'm feeling about all of this and like trying to reason through it. But
Hey,
I
boss,
think I'm onto
we're
something.
talking here.
any advice?
Have any advice for how I should go about it?
Yeah, all right. The disciples like violence. The bloodier, the better. Tell them they'll get plenty of it. The operators are in it mostly for the money. They get promised caps, they'll listen to you. The pack, hell, I don't know. They follow whoever they think is the strongest. Show some teeth, I guess.
What if I shoot every leader? Does that solve the problem? Because I have a mission for that too. I don't need them. Everybody likes me. They'll fear me. Is the Michael Scott answer?
I thought we were having a conversation.
I don't need them. I get by just fine on my own.
Oh my God, shut up with this. I'm telling you, you need their help. Look, technically, you're already the new overboss, right? That's like half the work done right there. Just meet the leaders.
Think about
Talk with them.
this piece of
Flex your
conversation
muscles a
just
little.
now, in
Show 'em
light
you
of what
mean
I said
business.
before. Do you see what the writers are doing and the quest designers are doing there? Oh, there's this other path that my character might want to decide to take, right? Oh, I don't want to engage with the story you're proposing me because I have no motivation to do it. So let me pick an answer that ignores that.
I know you got a lot on your
Right?
mind.
Oh, I don't need those
but work
clans,
with
whatever, right? I can just go out there and just shoot everything in the other parts of the park and just take over them that way, right? No. The game's telling you no, you're not allowed to do that. You're gonna have to engage with the story the way we set it up for you, right?
Boss. You listening?
What's up, Granada? Had a better day today? No, not really. I do have a migraine as well, so... But I'm trying to not let that... You know... much of a problem.
Any time now, boss.
Don't need it. I wonder what happens if I click this. I'm really curious. I kind of want to try.
I thought we were having a conversation.
Yeah, I think there's reasonable comparisons to be made with Cyberpunk. But again, Shepard, my whole point with the comparison is in the way the game sets up its story to make it feel
Boss.
logical
you
for the
listening?
player to pursue the activities in it, right? That's sort of my like main point. Is the game giving you good reasons to do the things you're doing in it? Outside of just player agency of like, oh yeah, I have a video game I want to
Hey, boss.
engage with
We're
it. Right?
talking here.
Yeah, I did avoid napping and went to bed when I should have, but I kept waking up and again, I basically readjusted my sleep schedule. It doesn't really have to do with bad sleep or good sleep. It has to do with switching, like my schedule changing.
I know you got a lot on your mind.
That's usually what triggers a
but work
migraine.
with
So I'm not surprised that I have a migraine today. I fully expected it. It's still annoying. Yeah, I'm really tempted to click that just to see how the game's gonna deal with it at this point.
Pal, I've got enough going on. I don't need this hassle.
Are you screwing with me? Come on. This is the opportunity of a lifetime here. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I'll do my best to hold things together, but don't leave me hanging here. The gangs expect results, and they ain't gonna wait forever. Over, boss.
Okay, so basically the game, that's a funny way of dealing with that. The game's just like, oh, okay, you don't want to engage, you don't have to. But nothing changes. Basically, it just goes back to, oh yeah, you need to talk to, you know, speak to Gage to get the quest going. It's basically the equivalent of telling him, you know what, I'll get back to you later about that. It's not like, no, I don't want to do it, I'm gonna go on a different path, right?
So come on.
Which I guess is one way
You
to
gonna
do it
talk
without,
the gangs?
you know, without having
On your
to
side?
offer a completely separate path, which is, no, I'm not gonna do what you want me to do, and I'm gonna just murder everyone. Or whatever, right? I mean, I guess I could start murdering everyone, probably, but... Then what?
What happens after they're on my side?
Then, we get started on taking over the rest of Nuka World. But, one step at a time. You in?
Sure.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. You just need to show them you're the right man for the job. I'll be here if you need me. You are the overboss after all. Just don't screw this up.
All right. I mean, I do have another quest that, you know, allows me to just... I'm assuming it's gonna play into this one regardless, right? The idea is to unite all the clans, and then we take over the rest of the world. If I kill all the leaders, I assume that sort of solves that issue of getting all the gangs behind me, right? I would think this would be the easiest way to combine those two together, right? Rather than it completely disrupting the rest of the plan. I don't know. So much jet all over the
Need
place.
something, boss?
I wish I could find more Psycho and make more of the good stuff.
Gage,
You need something, boss?
Raiders all the same. More about Nuka World. Information on the gangs.
aren't you Raiders all the same?
Hey, come on now. No need to be insulting. Commonwealth gangs, well, most of them don't even qualify.
How are you, JC?
They ain't organized.
By the way.
They don't make smart decisions. Basically one step up from rabid animals. I've run with some of them over the years. Every single time, they either think way too small or get themselves wiped out. I make a point of getting the hell out of Dodge before that happens.
What's the appeal?
I don't get it, Gage. What's the appeal of all this?
Oh, come on. It ain't that hard to see. You take whatever you want from whoever you want. Anybody has a problem with that, you cut them down. You telling me that doesn't sound like even just a little bit of fun to you? Anyway, don't mistake the gangs out here for being the same as those Commonwealth saps. Gangs out here, they got agendas, and they're gonna expect results. You can't afford to forget that. You need anything else?
I feel like the game is trashing on itself here. It's like, oh yeah, the main game gangs that didn't feel any difference, just like a whole bunch of like raiders that you just shoot as soon as they show up. Yeah, no, here we actually have put some thought in the, you know, factions and what they want and what they do.
Any time now, boss.
More about Nuka World.
I want to know more about Nuka World.
Yeah, good call. Big time amusement park back before the world went to shit. Well, I guess if this place is any indication, it wasn't so hot before it all blew up. Anyway, we weren't the first to think of this place as a good stronghold. Before we got here, a bunch of traders had set up shop and hired a whole lot of guns to protect them. They were dug in like ticks. That's why it took pulling a bunch of gangs together to even have a chance.
Okay.
You've got this area of the park. Isn't that enough? Why do you want more?
You got a lot to learn, boss. So we've got Nuka Town, and most of the traders work for us now. They ain't happy about it, but screw them. We really need the rest of these parks, though. Every one of them not under our control is a threat. And the gangs are too cramped up. They're stepping all over each other. Unless they get room to spread out, there's gonna be bloodshed. So the sooner you get them all to agree to follow orders, the sooner we can improve our situation. You, got any more questions?
Yeah, there was a lot more about Nuka World I wanted to
I want to
know.
know more about Nuka World.
Yeah, big time. Anyway, before they
Uh-huh.
were dug in like ticks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Good location.
No question that it's a good location.
Yeah, the traders thought it'd make a good hub, pulling in buyers from all around. We're thinking it makes a good central location for sending gangs out. So we've got Nuka Town, and most of the traders work for us now. They ain't happy about it, but screw them. We really need the rest of these parks, though. Every one of them not under our control is a threat. And the gangs are...
Yeah, so
the
it
sooner
basically
you,
leads to the exact same conversation.
Tell me more about the gangs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, quite the assorted bunch. All used to hate each other, and I guess maybe they still do to a degree. Took a shitload of work to get them all on board with this idea, so I really don't want to lose them now. If I were you, I'd start with the disciples. They might all be crazy, probably are in fact, but Nisha has her reasonable moments. Then you've got the operators. Spoiled, rich kids, but doesn't mean they ain't ruthless killers. If you can impress Mags, she'll listen to you. And then there's the pack. I'm not saying they're savages, but, well, shit, they're savages. I don't know how Mason keeps them on a leash. Up to you who you want to trust the most, but you're gonna need to trust at least some of them. You need anything else?
Nothing else.
Nothing else for now.
All right. You know where to find me.
All right. Wait, why is it sending me here? When I can just go down like that. Range. On the plus side, I think the music's great. I think the design of the area is really cool. Some really good stuff. Am I just... It is letting me just go out and try to see what's up, which is kind of cool. I'm not seeing any other signs of life. I'm really curious to see what kind of enemies I... Galactic Zone. Uh-oh. That's a lot of dead people. I am thirsty. What's up, Joan Ziffer? How are you doing today? This Fir Blossom. Got the day off, so I'm doing chores now. Up, first aid, and
Nisha really only has one rule around here. Don't get caught. Things are boring as hell since Nisha made us team up. I ain't no fan of playing nice with others.
these people would prefer just shooting each other all the time.
Can't give up now.
That last one died too fast. I'm losing my touch.
Okay. Go to the arcade. Yeah, no, Cyberpunk turned out to be a lot better than I
The
thought.
machines have been acting up, but don't worry, I fixed them.
Oh,
Always have plenty of tokens for sale. Set you up with some?
what's your story?
So what's your story, anyway?
Me? Didn't know you were interested. Well, I've been running this place for years now. And to be honest, until Coulter rolled in with his, your gangs, it was getting boring. They were going to kick me out of the Nuka-Cade. But then I showed them that I possessed skills that would be useful to them. Fixing these machines really isn't that different than tinkering with a gun or some armor. Just make the right connections, and it all works. After a while, Coulter started considering me almost a part of the gangs. That's probably why he never slapped a collar around my neck. Hopefully, I'll have the same luck with you, boss.
Yeah, what's with
Anyway,
all
enough
those
about
colors anyway, and why does
How about I
everyone
fix
still
you up
wear
with
them
some
even though
tokens so
Coulter
you
is
can
not
get
there
playing?
anymore?
Let's see what you've got.
I have all sorts of ways to help you waste your time, boss.
He's got a dick tool. I can't. I have to take the addict toll. I can't let that dip through my fingers. Hear some rain sounds before sleeping. I mean, I used to, like, over 15 years ago, I used to always fall asleep to a Rainy Mood, the website. I had a whole setup in the room I was in at the time, like speakers all across the, around the room, and it made it really feel like I was in the middle of the thunder. It was really cool. Yeah, these days I just fall asleep to whatever, like different stuff depending on the mood, but there's this very chill channel on YouTube of a dude who does like role-playing playthroughs of like really hardcore survival games like Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead, and he has like very long playlists of him just doing very chill roleplay of that, and it's very calm. He has a very quiet voice, and I typically fall asleep to that. I've moved away from the falling asleep to rain sounds. That was like early days, 15 years ago, you know. I need something a little more driven than just sounds, I guess. Yeah. The addict toll is just really important. Okay, so I'm gonna do that with the pistol provided because I don't want to waste my ammo. It's definitely more difficult because of the reload times and all that. Shit, that was a bad bet. I need to be more careful with the reloading times. Oh, I just noticed that it... Okay, I didn't realize it was an auto pistol. Sometimes I was firing 2 bullets instead of 1. Hmm. What if I don't have any more ammo for this? Total War Warhammer campaigns, talk about lore. That's something I've always wanted to play Total War Warhammer, but my previous computer wouldn't allow me to. And now that I have a new computer, I never ended up getting into it. I probably should. The problem is it's a whole mess to get, you know, like the full version of the, like the basically the optimal version of the game is so many DLCs and too expensive. Oh, Jesus. All right, let's go give the Nuka-Cola quartz to the lady. Having played since the first helps. Yeah, because like you get all the basically all accumulated DLCs over time, right? With the way it works. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to wait for like a massive 95% off sale or something. Oh, jeez! Radstorm. Well, I'm going back in. Yeah, let me sit somewhere so I can wait. I'm gonna wait the storm out. Oh, it's almost time to sleep already. Help defend Finch Farm? Do you realize how far I am from all of this? Sorry, Finch Farm. You're gonna have to, you know, figure it out. Yeah. Thoughts and prayers for Finch Farm. Yep, exactly. Ow! That actually fucking... I wanted to see if it, you know... This thing is not doing damage though. It looks cool though. What the hell? It looks like an AK receiver with like, well, I mean, that's what it is, right? It's an AK receiver, but it has like a shovel handle. That's kind of funny.
If you come across any Hibologist crazies, just ignore them. I told those freaks to stick to their camp.
Brad Burton's office. You know what I've been thinking? I've had this.
What's turned up so far is that he's got that pit boy on his arm.
So, our new overboss is a vault dweller.
Or Ice the Vault Dweller.
You can go.
They're talking about me. Yeah, that weapon looks sick. I want one of these. Yeah, I've been thinking about, you know, games to play off streams recently, and for some reason it always comes back in cycles. I've been thinking about playing Trails in the Sky again. I don't know, a good old school turn-based RPG is something that's been on my mind. But I don't know.
Hey.
Over, boss? Making trouble? Good.
Mags. Huh? Or are you talking about Expeditions? Expedition 33 or something? I've had that on my radar, yeah. It looks really cool, aesthetically. And the story seems interesting. I don't know, yeah. And the fact that it's a turn-based thing, I'm kind of excited about it. It may be a game that I'm getting day one, potentially, which is kind of crazy. It's not coming on Game Pass, is it? I'm gonna have to pay for it, right? But yeah, if the reviews look good on release, like, unless like suddenly it comes out and everyone's like, you know what, it was a, you know, it looked good on trailers, but it's actually garbage, I'm probably getting it day one, you know. So we'll see. The Chipmunk. It's like, it's almost one of those games that I wish I could stream on day one.
Damn, they hit this thing pretty well.
But yeah.
Here you go. One crisp and refreshing Nuka-Cola Quartz.
Why does my character talk that way?
Thank you
It's so weird.
much. Hello again. Yes, I'm still here and still searching.
So I can help.
I could help you out if you want.
Oh, no thanks. I kind of need to keep this a secret. It's really important to me.
I
and
just gave you the
don't
Nuka-Cola
know very
Quartz you wanted.
I'm a fellow Nuka-Cola fan, so you can definitely trust me.
Wow, really? That's great. In fact, that gives me an idea.
Oh?
I've read all kinds of things about the park, and I'd love to tell someone about it. How about I give you a little tour of Nuka Town here, and when it's over, I'll share my secret. What do you say?
Oh god. I hate when games do that. Whoa. Jeez, that bullet was close. What's up, Brendan? How are you doing today?
Some people say I can be a little overwhelming. Is that why you stopped
Have you
talking?
joined the ranks of the mid-rolls? Brendan. What's going on? Not much. I'm excited for after the stream when I'm gonna spend hours reading all the Tekken 8 patch notes. It's gonna be fun. And then probably spend most of the night
Running out of steam.
trying
You should
trying
drink
the
a
changes
Nuka-Cola.
in practice
That
mode
always
and
gets me going.
I think I may decide on a new main character. I'm not entirely sure, but now that I've played the game a bit more, I'm drawn to other characters, especially watching competitive play and all that.
Some people say I can be a little overwhelming. Is that why you
But we'll
stopped
see.
talking?
I still like Lydia a lot, but I don't know. Yeah. Just seeing competitive play makes, you see all those characters being played at a high level, and you're like, kind of want to play that.
Running out of steam? You should drink a Nuka-Cola. That always gets me going.
Holy Jesus! Somebody should tell that nerd that it's a terrible spot for them to practice their... Yeah, Brandon? Well, good luck with that. Streaming on
Running
day
out of
one,
steam?
bad idea
You
for
should
smaller
drink a
streamers to just get
Nuka-Cola.
those views
That
cannibalized.
always
Yeah, I
gets me
mean,
going.
it's one of those things. Like, I think this game's gonna be big enough that, you know, the category is probably gonna be flooded, right? Captain Next. So now, one of the strategy could be you just wait a couple weeks, because like most of the big streamers are gonna be to the next big thing, right? And then that's when you get in. But I don't know. It might be a very
Some
long
people say I can be a little overwhelming. Is that why you
JRPG
stopped
style
talking?
game, which, you know, it obviously as a streamer is not always. Also, maybe, I don't know, maybe I just need a good off stream. I don't know. Like something that's not competitive, a single player thing.
Some
Yeah, I
people
mean,
say
that's
can be
true.
a
Now
little
the categories have a
overwhelming. Is
new
that why you stopped
recommended
talking?
default thing, which spreads the viewers a little bit more, maybe, but I feel like a lot of people just switch to high to low. What game is this? Expedition 33 is the one we've been talking about. Looks really cool.
Running out of steam? You should drink a Nuka-Cola. That always gets me going.
Yeah, that's one of the things, Warren, is I'm hoping it's not too massive. And that's one of the things that stops me from playing, like, Metaphor, right? It's one of those Altus games. They're always so fucking long. There's, like, so much to do in them. And that's
Some
also
people
what's
say I can be
stopping
a
me
little
from getting
overwhelming. Is that why
into
you stopped
the
talking?
Trail series. Because, like, if I get hooked on the first Trails, that series never ends. There's, like, 6 different trilogies or whatever. It's just such a long... And you don't have to play all of it, of course, but if you really get into it, then you will want to. And nobody's got time for that.
Running out of steam? You
What's up,
should
Hydra?
drink a Nuka-Cola. That always gets me going.
What kind of tour?
What do you have in mind, exactly?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I like to think of myself as one of the foremost authorities on the subject of Nuka World. I'll take you to some of the best spots right here in Nuka Town, USA, and show you just how amazing this place really is. So, is that a yes?
I hate this because I don't want to go around talking to that person, but I'm really interested in the quest they're on. Sure.
Sounds like a great idea.
Okay, then let's get started. Right this way, if you please.
And now it's one of these
I guess you
sequences
could
that
think
I
of me as
hate
the
in
world's
games,
biggest Nuka-Cola fan.
which is just
I've
following a
been
character
obsessed
around.
with this stuff since the first time I tasted it. I collect all the merchandise I can find, like these awesome Cappy glasses I'm wearing. But these aren't just ordinary sunglasses. They were part of a really cool contest that started just before the war. And oh my gosh. And the winner of the contest would get to meet the famous John Caleb Bradburton himself.
Oh, that's the JCB's name we've seen on some terminals. Who is he?
Who was John Caleb Bradburton?
Sorry, I tend to forget most people aren't as interested in the history of Nuka-Cola as I am. He was an inventor, and the best thing he ever invented was, you guessed it, Nuka-Cola! So, to win the contest, you had to find 10 images of Cappy, the Nuka-Cola mascot, hidden throughout the park. Each image has part of a code or something, and only these special glasses can reveal it. Now I know what you're thinking. Bradburton's long gone. Who cares about the contest anymore? Well, I'm betting that somewhere in his office is the original Nuka-Cola formula. That formula was one of the great mysteries of the soft drink world, and it would be the crown jewel of my collection. If you can help me get it, I promise it'll be worth your while.
Sure.
What's in it for me?
I was just getting to that part. Bradburton didn't just create soda formulas. He was a genius who invented all kinds of fantastic things. All I really care about is getting my hands on the Nuka-Cola formula. Any other inventions we find are yours to keep. So, what do you think?
What's up, Ilse? Thank you for the raid. Appreciate that. What were you doing today? Psycho Rider. But yeah, I mean, in the case of like Expedition 33, I think one of the things that really appealed to me in the trailer that I've seen is the story
say I can be
seems
a
really
little
cool.
overwhelming.
Like
Is
the
that why you
idea of the
stopped
story
talking?
is amazing. It feels like something I would like to read, you know. it feels like one of those sci-fi-esque concepts that I would love to read in a book, or fantasy, right? And so I'm really kind of excited about just engaging with that story and that world. It looks really
Running out of
original
steam?
and fascinating.
You should drink a Nuka-Cola. That always gets me going.
Post Fallout treating me? Pretty okay. I'm not sure how I feel about this area we're in right now, which sort of is apparently a DLC, but overall, I've had a good time with Fallout so far. What's up, Cyborg Wolf? How are you
Running
doing?
out of steam? You should drink a Nuka-Cola. That always gets me going.
I'll help you.
Sure, why not? Might learn more about the park while I'm at it.
Good point. You're new here after all. You should learn everything you can. I'll give you my Cappy glasses and this old contest holotape. It's got hints about where to find the hidden Cappies. Just track down the clues and then come back to me once you've found them all. I'm an expert in all things Nuka-Cola, so I'm sure I'll be able to decipher it. Happy hunting!
So am I supposed to still follow you on your tour right now? Because, like, she promised a tour, but then she didn't... Yeah, now she says follow on her tour. It's so weird, the way it's structured. Oh, jeez. Wait, is me equipping the glasses do something special? Is that the only way I can find the... Dude, I'm gonna kill that. I'm gonna end up killing that person, so they just stop fucking shooting all the time.
Hey there.
We'd all considered putting a bullet in Coulter's back at some point. Suppose you just beat us to it.
I really want to kill that person. But yeah, Ilsa, did you let me know what you were doing today? I don't know if I missed a message. How far am I in the story? Not very. I barely engaged with the actual main story.
Happy hunting!
Hey, Sierra.
Keep those eyes peeled. Those Cappies could be pretty well hidden.
So we were closed. Nice. I've seen people play that game. It looks really fun.
Only opens with a key.
A key or a code, I guess.
Remember,
So I'm
you
guessing
won't see
each
hidden
Cappy we
codes
find
without
has
the
like a number,
glasses.
and then you put it
Make sure
in.
you're
and-
wearing them while you search.
Mhm. So wasn't I supposed to follow her on her tour or something? Follow Sierra on her tour. I guess it's bugged or something? Like she's not actually giving me a tour? Whatever. Cappy's Cafe. Yeah, you're not allowed to answer.
The last threat he's gonna make before he storms their gates. And honestly, between us, this whole thing has already gone way off the
I
rails.
think you missed a spot.
Now,
Sam.
Hope, she's a good
Sweep
woman,
that
a
patch
raider
again.
through and
Please,
through.
just
But
leave
she
What the
takes
fuck
care
happened
of
here?
her home.
Like best,
She
okay?
knows there ain't no way her little gang can stand up to Atlas and his army.
You got that
So she
tough
knows
guy.
what she's
Just
gotta
having
do.
a little fun, Granny.
The white
Keep the
flag
kid on
goes
his
up,
toes.
and Hope herself walks right out the front gate. Says if Atlas gives his word that
Not
the gang
supposed to
is
hurt
safe,
the other gangs.
she'll go free.
No rule against
Got a
chickens
shake on
hurting each other.
Atlas, proud man that he
I
is,
thought about
takes
trying
them
to
on
find
that
out
oath.
where the
And it's not necessarily shaking her hand that he hears the
Place is a mess.
clever woman that she was, Hope went and strapped herself up with more than a couple of mini nukes.
Nuka side
She knew what she
recipe.
was about. Now, I am told that on that day, the sun might as well not even have come up. For all the good it did next to the brightness of that explosion. Men
Parched from lack of
hundreds
water.
miles away
Oh yeah,
went
can I find some water in here?
Birds dropped out of the sky for days after. For as big and as tough as he was,
Life's too short for bullshit. Gotta party like it's your last day. Every day.
Damn, you're full of face stuck in my head. That's
all of it. Is there a moral in all of this?
The guy selling chems is a little off.
I thought about trying my hand at the gauntlet just to see if I could do it.
It's red eye.
Yeah, I just haven't been engaging with the main story very much. I was just busy exploring the world, which I think is the most interesting part of this anyway. I feel like, unfortunately, every time the game's trying to tell me a story, it's not doing a very good job at it. What's up, Kimmy?
Nisha really only has one rule around here. Don't go home.
I really hate that person. I really want to shoot them.
Careful out there. The park's a pretty dangerous place. Not supposed to hurt the other gangs. No rule against tricking them into hurting each other, though.
Over, boss? Making trouble? Good.
I'm trying.
Give me what you got. I'm only gonna count to 10. Give me what you got.
Oh, thank God. Sorry, everyone. This was a public danger. That weapon's kind of cool, though. Good old AK receiver. Fucking shovel. Like, if I can customize this into like a proper weapon, it could be really cool. Turn it into like an assault rifle or something. I like it. Oh yeah.
Man, I've been getting the shakes bad. Haven't slept in days.
You've been hitting the jet pretty hard. And some of that new Colmex stuff that Maddox is
I wonder how I get back to this. The Hubologists camp. What the fuck is that? Oh. What the hell is that gun? Are we playing Fortnite right now? Oh, Jesus. Like, they have skins. These people have skins.
Hey there.
If you can take something, it's yours.
Those masks are really cool. I like them. So where's a gun weapon merchant?
Good.
there a weapon merchant
Feel
where I can
kinda
get just a
bad for
bunch of
these
ammo?
traders, having to wear the collars like that.
What's up, Rico?
Hey, boss. Gotta admit, it was good to see Coulter go down. He scared
You're
the hell
welcome.
out of me.
Not looking for trouble, just some good deals.
Okay.
Wow, wow, look who it is.
Workbench. Let's see. Okay.
Wasteland's a dangerous place. I'm yourself with a quality weapon right here.
Shovel stock. Okay, like that's what I mean, right? If I can install like a proper stock on it, it requires gun nut level 4 and rifleman level 4. That's interesting.
Weapons of all
What's up, Bryboot?
kinds,
How are you
rust
doing
for
today?
a
Thank you for the
fair
Prime 27 months. Appreciate that. Bryboot, you will be remembered. Hope you're well.
Guns and ammo here.
Oh my god, this is disgusting. Yeah, okay. There would be ways to turn this into like a proper rifle. I like it.
Sure, I'm here to trade, but I'm not letting my guard down for a second.
Not supposed to hurt the other gangs.
There's some new weapons in the DLC, which is nice.
Wow, wow.
Supplies here. Come and stock up.
Came a long way to see this place. This place really makes me want a Nuka-Cola.
Looking at you.
Okay, let's... If I go south, can I go back to the main world? Nuka-Cola Victory. Oh yeah. Oh, Nuka-Cola Quartz. I didn't even need... Oh man. That Sierra girl wasn't really looking very hard if she missed all of that. Holy fuck! Ah! For some reason, I wasn't expecting enemies. That's my fault. Yeah, Rico? I still haven't read the second book. I was telling myself that I would wait for the third book's release date to be announced before reading the second one. Well, reading the first and the second one again. And I'm starting to feel like I'm never gonna have to do it. Are we? Wait. Yeah, that was part of the gauntlet. The gauntlet really went all the way around, huh? Okay, is this place in workable order now, or?
Please stand clear of the doors.
Oh, bye! I assumed it would ask me, like, do you want to go back to the Commonwealth? Nope, it didn't ask. It
We are
just sent
now
me there.
arriving at the station. Please be sure to collect any children and personal belongings before exiting the Nuka Express.
The nerd that sent me over still here? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I'm still there technically. Okay.
Nuka World's great Halloween
I guess this is part of like the area-wise. This is part of the
Reserve
DLC
your
still,
tickets for this
and this leads
nighttime
me
event
back to the
at the main
Commonwealth.
box
Okay.
office.
Well, okay, now at least I know I can go back and forth. That's good. What's up, Zia? What's up, Nibiru? Wait, when did I level up? Oh, wait, what? I guess I must have died after about to do it. Took the day off for my birthday. Nice, yeah.
Attention. Your tickets in the event of an emergency. First to ride our angry anaconda coaster opening soon. And shelter instructions
Yeah, happy
provided
birthday,
by
yeah.
Nuka World employees. Thank you.
$10. Thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Zia the Tabby Cat. Did that. Thank you very much. Zia, you will be remembered. Happy birthday. Enjoy the ad-free experience. Alright, so we're back here. Oh, did Warren get outpaced by $10? Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the Nuka World stuff I'm gonna keep for later, because like I feel like I don't want to lose like sort of the stuff that I was doing on this side of things. There's still so much I need to do around here, and I feel like this is like a massive distraction. The only issue I have is I kind of want to work on that new gun, but I don't think I'll find the ammo for it in this side of the world. It's only going to be in the DLC, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I've got to store that somewhere in the meantime. So where should I go if I want to store this? Sunshine Tiding? Or Grey Garden, maybe? mean, Grey Garden's pretty centralized. That'd be good. I mean, Hangman's Alley would be ideal. Store everything over there. That was the one in the... Yeah, let's do that. I should have slept before... I can go to Grey Garden and sleep here. There's a bed in that house next to it. Can't see shit. Put the stockpile? Yeah. Raspberry cheesecake sounds awesome. Yeah, love that. I love raspberry. How many times have we died? So we were stuck on like 12 for a while, and then we died, what, 3 times last stream? So that's 15, I think, at this point. We're still technically alive and kicking. Got an email from Twitch announcing a price hike. Again? Wait. Is that something they just announced or something? Just hit your inbox? Oh, I'm not seeing anything on my end at least. Is this your theoretical last life? I mean, technically, yeah, I guess like 1 in 16, right? Is the assumed odds. Now, the way with the way like odds work, since like death number, I don't know, like 11, I think, we're already like considered lucky. I think around death 11 is when the odds of us surviving that many deaths were like 50% roughly, right? So anything since then is just me being very lucky overall. But at the same time, every fucking roll is a new roll, right? Past results don't affect future results, so I don't know. It's always a 1 in 16 chance. wait, wasn't there... There was no bed in here, was there? Wasn't it a whole thing with there not being a bed? Ah, shit. Thought there was a bed, but there's not. Yeah, I need to craft a bed in Grey Garden then. What's up, DJ? Do I have to build a fucking... $15 Rasta, I think. Yeah, but the problem is random permadeath doesn't mean anything. It's more confusing than anything. So people will ask questions anyway. If they see first playthrough permadeath, they're gonna come in and ask questions anyway, right? So since we're gonna have to answer questions anyway, might as well keep it simple. Also, a factor that most people don't think about is adding a single word to the title makes it less likely that people are going to see the title. Because there's only that much space people see when they're exploring categories. If you add too many words, then suddenly the word permadeath doesn't even appear anymore. Unless they click on it, right? On the channel. Which at this point you've already won, so it doesn't matter anymore, right?
You helped us in our most desperate hour, and for that I salute you, sir.
Title length is actually pretty important. Which is one of the reasons why, for a while, and I mean years, I've been thinking about not putting the title of the game as the first thing in the title, because I'm wasting very precious real estate. But I just like the consistency of it. I don't know. What's up, JR? Investigated is just mobile. I'm subbed through my phone. I need to change it. You definitely need to change that. Subbing through your phone is a terrible, terrible idea. I don't know why you would do something like that. Was there a bed in the fucking police station? I don't think so, because we pushed to Diamond Sea. So let's see if we can get like a small structure going. There's really no flat ground around here. It's annoying. This will do. That's great. Double roof and everything. Well, not quite, but... Seven. All right. Hangman's Alley is under attack. Oh, shit. So cozy. I mean, hey, it's a roof. I'll, you know, and a way to sleep here. I'll take it. Doesn't have to be cozy. Game title doesn't have to correlate to the game you're playing. Some streamers perpetually leave it in just chatting. I think that's a specific type of channel that does that. People who are more heavily focusing on, like, they don't necessarily like play a certain type of game, or they don't really do playthroughs. They just play a game whenever they are bored, and they just stay in just chatting because it's the biggest category, right? And typically they just focus on creating a community that wants to listen to them talk all day and stand in front of the camera, right? It's less of a structured, like, approach, I guess. Works for them, that's great. Alright, let's see. There, yep. Yeah, Brightboot. I mean,
why are you standing around here like there's nothing to do? Paladin Danse is waiting for you.
Dude, I'm here for the first time in months. What are you talking about, Knight Reese? That... I really want to kill that guy. I'm just gonna start killing everyone as a solution to all my problems. Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about the fact that I haven't been in there. What? I'm ready to start my just chatting arc on Twitch. Video games are just so boring. I don't want to play video games anymore. Maybe I should just start my just chatting arc and only play games when there's something that I'm really like. Unfortunately, video games are bad. That is the truth. Yes. Like my whole... Originally, my whole concept with streaming is the game is a pretext. And it's more about the conversations than the game. And the game's just there to keep us company, I guess. But with how things have been going recently, like on Twitch in general, I feel like engagement is so low that I'm basically spending all my streams playing the game. And that is extremely depressing. I've legitimately hated streaming for the past 4 months at this point. And yeah, I don't know. There's just no conversations happening anymore. Too much focus on the video game. It's not the way I like streaming. I don't think that's the problem is I don't like that way of phrasing it, Credo, because it puts blame on a certain party, which would be chat, which I don't think is fair. I don't think it's a problem with chat. It could be a problem with me. Maybe I'm just less conversational than I used to be. Maybe I've been more depressed, so I have less stuff to talk about, and I'm just sort of cruising, and you know, I'm just sort of coasting. You know, I'm just going live because that's what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just waiting for the clock to reach the appropriate time for me to call it, right? And I'm just losing myself in the game because I have nothing else to talk about. But I think it's sort of a vicious cycle, right? Of I don't really have any topics of conversation, and so like I just end up focusing on the game, and then there's nothing coming from chat. There's that lack of emulsion that used to happen, right? And I think in some ways focusing on just chatting stuff and maybe, you know, I don't know, like watching YouTube videos or watching some stuff that then we get to talk about and all that could be a way to trigger more conversations. Like going in with the intent of just talking, right? Rather than playing a video game. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's why I wanted to experiment with the casual Friday stuff, but it feels like I also need, you know, time off to just rest, right? So, I don't know. It's complicated. Oh, come on. Really? So, it's not the R, it's not the S. It'd be or I. It can be T.
Got it.
I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say I've been hating it. I haven't been hating it. It's just, it hasn't been... It hasn't been the stimulating experience that it once was. Genuinely, that idea sounds nice. Which one? But yeah, there's still, I mean, the when it becomes complicated is that there's still a whole bunch of games that I really want to play, share with stream, you know. Doing Disco second playthrough is exciting to me. Elden Ring DLC is exciting to me. My super secret project is exciting. So yeah, it's a very difficult balance to strike, and I don't know how to approach that. Well, that was the idea, Ilse. Initially, what I was talking about recently was to make a casual Friday stream. Frame it as a casual Friday, and we, you know, listen to music, do like album, you know, like discoveries, watch videos, you know, kind of like a just chatting sort of thing. But it's just, I also need to be careful not to overextend myself and not rest enough. I don't know, Shepard. I think it's just it's been a thing like for a while now. But I've been mentioning that is that it's not just my channel. Like I've noticed that engagement on Twitch across the board has been, you know, has become pretty low, especially like on gaming streams. I see streams with like between 200 and 500 viewers where literally there's almost no conversation happening in chat ever. You get like one message every 5 minutes. It's really fucking wild. And has started around December, I think. And I've seen that across the board in various communities that don't have any connections to one another. Like it's every streamer I've been talking about almost feels that effect. But yeah, I mean, what were we playing before Fallout? I don't remember. We've been playing like, we played Last of Us, we played Until Dawn, we played games that should have been generating conversation, and they didn't. Like I remember specifically trying to like have interesting topics of stuff that we usually would talk about, like usually would work pretty well, like historically speaking, and like literally talking to myself for 10 minutes with absolutely no reaction, and then I'm like, oh well, okay, I mean at this point why am I trying, you know? What's up, Colette? Well, yeah, but it's not about one person, Engthar, right? It's not about one individual reason for not being there or engaging. So that has nothing to do with that. Again, it's like it's a widespread phenomenon happening all across Twitch, not just here. It's just a general thing. And it feels like every gaming channel is somewhat going through that. So I don't know. I mean, ultimately, for me, the most interesting part of streaming is the conversation. Maybe I need to embrace that and just stop putting, you know, another layer to all of it. Just, you know. I don't know, Rasta. That's the weird thing, is that technically speaking, my numbers have been fine. And that's the wild thing. I had more engagement when I had a third of the viewers. That's why it's really weird. And again, it's not just, I'm talking about my experience because that's what I'm most familiar with, but I'm noticing that happening across the board. Maybe, Credo. I feel like there's several phenomenons at play here. One of them is maybe people are getting more busy again, so there's a lot of like, you open a Twitch channel and you leave it on the side and that's it, but you don't really engage, right? Which is totally, again, totally respectable way of using Twitch. That's what I do most of the time. Another phenomenon I notice is people opening a bunch of channels but not actually watching them. Like opening, you know, the channels and then they're just hidden in a tab behind a whole bunch of other tabs, right? Like people having like 10 streams open at the same time. And only one of them pulled to the surface, right? That's something that's very widespread. So you may have like a certain number of people watching, but out of those, maybe only half are actually watching. I think people believe that I think people do it because it's to offer support, yes, and it does to a certain extent. It does, right? An extra viewer can, at least, used to be very important because of the way the categories work, right? Bigger streams get more visibility. Now it's a little different these days because of the changes they've made to categories, but it's still important. But yeah, I think it's that's it, Dax. It's a multifactorial thing, right? And none the least of which, again, I go back to my own responsibility here, is that I've had less stuff to talk about. I don't know. I've been very depressed for a few months, which means I'm less conversational. I have less stuff to talk about because I don't really do many things, right? Most of my days are spent just trying to survive until it's time to go to sleep while watching a fucking random ass TV show that brings really no conversation, or losing myself in a game that, you know, has no interest of, again, like, doesn't bring any conversation whatsoever, like Tekken, right? Nobody wants to talk about Tekken. It's just a fucking competitive game. There's nothing to talk about. So that definitely plays into it, right? When I'm mentally feeling better and my life is quote unquote more interesting, I have more stuff to talk about. But yeah, so maybe that's why, you know, that's why I'm thinking about stuff like just chatting streams with using media as a way to sort of trigger conversation, and media that's being brought by chat as well, right? Add that layer of interaction of, like, if you guys have YouTube videos you think might be interesting to take a look at, or music you want me to listen to, or trailers you want me to watch, or and then all of that kind of sort of generates that layer of engagement and that sort of natural sort of a conversation, right? But I don't know, maybe I need to experiment with it. But then again, it brings me back to the problem that I still want to play video games. I'm still interested in playing video games. But so I don't know how to deal with that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, Dax. That will also be something I would love to do. You know, like some game dev stuff where I actually focus on like write a game and figuring out how to actually make something, like a sort of small project of, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a sort of like existential crisis type scenario where I don't know what I want to do with myself, so it sort of permeates into the stream. What's up, Current? How are you doing? I mean, we have some off-stream conversations about making a game with Naz, but that's stuff that's gonna happen off-stream. Like, Naz has to do challenge run. Doesn't really have a choice there. And again, I'm not someone who's gonna start doing collabs. That's not me. I can barely take care of myself as far as streaming goes. I can't start working with other people. No, I mean, I think you're serious about that. I don't doubt your seriousness, Dax, and I'm still very much interested in, you know, doing a pass on your project at some point. I need to find the right mindset for me to be in to do. What's up, Current? How are you doing today? Satisfactory. Oh yeah, that's a game I need to play at some point. I'm interested. What's up, Sorrow? Yeah, I don't know, Shepard. I have a feeling Alan Wake would pretty much go the way of Last of Us, but I don't know. The second one seems really cool. And yeah, back to what you were saying, Warren. I mean, the super secret project, it's not that complicated to do. It's just a lot of like setup on my end. And as you know, you know, kind of know what the project is looking like, but there's aspects of how to put this, there's a little money investment that needs probably maybe to happen with that one, because well, you know what kind of what it entails. So and then the rest of it is just me being organized, which I think is pretty simple, pretty organized in general. But yeah, I don't know. I really think the super secret project could be a fun thing to do, but it's gonna have to wait for the right time. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's lately it's been really a combination of just kind of, you know, being depressed in general and maybe the game's falling a little short. I don't know. Maybe, you know, despite Fallout 4 having some interesting aspects in its exploration, maybe ultimately it's just a mid game that doesn't really bring that excitement, right? Once you've sort of gotten used to it. And I don't know. There can be work done to elevate it. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of like combining it with like social media stuff, I think there's something that can be done here. In terms of presentation, there's something that can be done for sure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see when it gets there. That's why I don't want to rush into it, right? I want to take my time to sort of... The super secret project is sort of almost like a last resort type deal, right? If all else fails and I need something to give it a last go, right? At doing something that can be really, really cool and beneficial for the channel, that would be my plan, right? But we're not at that point yet, I don't think. What's up, Panda? How are you doing today? Non-stick Panda is a great name. I love it. Yeah, for the YouTube content, it's Warren and 10 bucks you gotta thank. They're the ones dealing with it. I barely... Maybe Stoner, I mean, that certainly checks out with my own experience. What have you been watching on YouTube? Let me guess, Disco Elysium. Guilty as charged. Predictable is what everyone is. I really want to play Disco Part 2. Is that what I should just do at this point? Because like, again, like if we're focusing on the game aspect of things, the next project was supposed to, like the next big project is supposed to be Elden Ring DLC, plus DLC, right? And that, I said, was going to be when Night Rain comes out. So we have a couple months between those two, before that happens. I'm like, at this point, should I just should I just dive into Disco Elysium Part 2 and do that second playthrough? And it would just carry us all the way to that? I don't know. What's the strategy for a second Disco run? I'm gonna do the opposite starting stats, right? I did 5-5-1-1. I'm gonna do 1-1-5-5. And then we'll see. But I have a few ideas of the kind of approach I want to take in the game. It's definitely not gonna be the realistic approach we had on the first time around. It's gonna be a crazy, you know. Please give me a few more days at least. Colette, you've had... It's been a year since I played the game for the first time, which was announced a year prior I played it. It's been 2 years. How much more time do you need? Yeah, but she's actually playing it now. Then that's fine. If she started the game, it's fine. I'm never gonna catch up. Yeah, see? Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, Colette. I'm never gonna catch up with you. What's up, Naz? She's been distracted by Stardew. Then my point stands. It's been 2 years. Makes me watch the stream more often on the site. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, the music right now is pretty great. I agree. While doing something else? Yeah, sure. I mean, and again, that's totally fine. I mean, most of the stream viewing that I do is while I'm doing something else. I never just watch a stream. Like, that never happens to me. I pay different levels of attention depending on the streams, but... You're locked in right now, yeah. Man, this is there's so much stuff happening on the screen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been, you know, there's also, I've been thinking about, and that's still something I'm kind of curious about is, you know, I've been talking about like Death Stranding recently. And I feel like I'm pretty convinced Death Stranding is not a game I would finish. I don't know, I have a feeling that I would not get to the end of it for some reason. But I feel like it would definitely, you know, it feels like a game that I would get super into for the first couple weeks. And then at some point it would just lose its luster, and I don't know if the story is present enough to then carry to, you know, through the rest of it, right? Because like that was the case for Cyberpunk, for instance. Obviously, you know, at first it's super exciting and then the game loses its luster a little bit, but in Cyberpunk the story was so engaging that it kept carrying me through it. I feel like Death Stranding feels like a diluted experience in comparison, right? So, I don't know. But I've seen an increasing number of people mentioning Death Stranding as their favorite game of all time. That's something that took me by surprise. I've seen that 3 times in the past week only across Twitch. And that kind of blows my mind because I never heard anyone be that like enthusiastic about it in the like when it released back in the day. I remember some people thinking it was good, but like nobody was like, "Oh, this was just such a fucking amazing experience," like, you know. I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of a cult classic sort of thing happening with it. Couldn't play it, but watching it was awesome. That kind of blows my mind to hear. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a part of me that wants to give it a try and see what happens, right? Just for the sake of, if it doesn't work, at least I know I've tried to get into it, right? When's the second one coming out again? What's the release date? Is it in May or something? Or April even? June? Okay. Not a bad time to play it. Play the first one, I guess. Something else I kind of want to play, and it's been kind of falling in the, you know, in the background a little bit, even though I was talking about it a lot at some point, is My Summer Car. My Summer Car has a surprisingly high amount of followers on Twitch. It's like 500k or some shit. It's ridiculous. Who watches that game? I feel like that could be a fun experience at some point. We do, yeah. That could be the end of the year experience, I guess. Even though it, you know, based on the name, it feels like a summer game, but I don't know. What is My Summer Car? Oh man, it's where to even begin? It's a Finland life simulator. Need some quality of life mods. Really? Need to send you my steering wheel. Benefits from having force feedback. Ah, see, like between the mention of mods and a steering wheel, I'm already less interested in playing it. I just want to chill with my mouse and keyboard and have a controller for the driving section. That's it. I mean, it's a janky game from what I can tell, but that's part of the experience. It's meant to be janky. Right. I get that, Sal. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm at a bit of a crossroads when it comes to content creation, and I don't know. I don't know if it's just a side effect of life in general feeling weird, or if it's just that I need to change something. What's up, Lemon? How are you doing today? You talking about you? Yeah, it turns out I'm the main subject of this channel, yeah. The dev seems to only play with steering wheel. Oh, right, you mean for the way the controls work. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're nowhere close me playing it. I wouldn't count on me playing my summer car until at the earliest the end of the year. Oh, just, you know, Lemon, just a bit of an existential crisis lately. Trying to figure out what to do, you know, like in general, and in terms of like content creation. The big, how are you doing today? Take anything? What do you mean? I don't take drugs, if that's your question. I do not do drugs at all. Is it considered a big no-no in streaming to intentionally not attempt to complete the game you're playing? I don't think so. Plenty of people just start a whole bunch of games and never finish them. I just have a different approach. Typically when I start a game, it's with the intent of completing it. And if I don't complete it, it's because I'm just not interested in it, alright? Yeah, Lemon. In my case, it's just I've had a rough end of 2024, and I think the depression has been carrying a little bit over the first few months of 2025. So it is what it is, and I've been struggling with feeling entertained by my own content and enjoying myself while streaming. Which I'm not sure if it's a matter of game that I've been playing, or if it's a matter of just me wanting to do something different, or if it's just a matter of the platform in general being in a sort of weird state, and engagement being lower, and conversations being less prevalent. I don't know. It's a whole thing. How do you rate your gameplay excitement? I don't understand the question. With this game or just... Would you rewatch your stream? No, but that's different. I wouldn't... I've never reread my books either. I think my books are great. It's just I don't, you know. I don't look back to watch my poop in the bowl before I flush, you know. It's not what I do. Whatever comes out of me is for other people to enjoy. What's up, Suck in a Jar? How are you doing today? How will you know if it was a good poop? I mean, that's more of a feeling thing, right? You know if it was healthy or not. I feel the same about streaming. I can tell at the end of a stream if it felt good or not. I don't need to look back at the VOD to be certain of that. If you wipe clean, that's also a good indicator, yes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Rico. I think yesterday was kind of funny because of those difficult sections. Sure. Yo, Archeesy, thank you for the 15 months. Appreciate that. Hope you've been doing well. Archeesy, you will be remembered. Thank you for the resub. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to experiment with a few things and see what happens. That's the way forward. Sabrian King. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so envious of people who play one single game all the time, and that's all they do. They have like a competitive game, and they never get bored of it, and they just play that game constantly. And that's it. I am so envious of that. And I'm not like, I'm not envious of the fact that they're doing it, because I could do that. I could literally do that, right? But I would get bored. I know myself. I would get bored and start hating myself if I did that. I'm jealous of the fact that they're able to do that. Play the same thing all the time, every day, non-stop. That's what I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of that capacity of just doing the same thing every day and being okay with it. That is not for me. I cannot imagine doing that. They are bored as fuck. Yeah, I mean, I guess most people are. They just do it for the money, right? Well, I mean, Fishboy, you're misunderstanding what we're talking about. We're talking about people streaming it for a living, not someone playing it on its own time outside of the work they actually do. This is not about you. Or the situation you're in, I mean. I feel the same about people who lack any and all empathy and self-awareness must be such a blissful life. I feel that very strongly. Especially these days. God, I wish my brain worked differently. I wish I didn't give a shit about anything. Or anyone. It would make it so much easier. Yeah, no, I mean, that's true, Colette. But there are people that do not feel that way, I'm pretty sure. Some people just have that brain chemistry working in a way that they can just go live every day and play the same game every day and they never get bored. I know some people, I'm assuming they're, you know, very rare exceptions, but they exist. Like, there's this Tekken 8 streamer I've been watching for years. Well, it used to be a Tekken 7 streamer. But anyway, been watching him for years. People ask him sometimes, like, do you get bored? Nah. Sometimes, you know, like a day where the game is less exciting, and so I just do a shorter stream and I go work out or I go do something else, and for a couple days I try to, you know, just do a little less of playing the game, and then eventually I'm excited to come back, and I keep doing it for like months and months and months. And I'm just like, that must be so nice to be able to do that. That guy sounds like he has it figured out. Well, yeah, I mean, he has a very successful stream, so that helps too, but... things are always easier to do when it's extremely successful. The money goes a long way, believe it or not, to make you accept things and be less annoyed by them. Yeah, I don't know. I was accepted to a new job. It would have been an $11 pay cut. Realized that I can keep doing this job I don't like. $11 an hour? An hour? Oh yeah, that's massive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean it definitely plays a part, right? Like, I mean, talking about streaming, you know, like you look at someone like Hub, for instance, which is a great example of someone who's doing the same thing all the time, right? You think this guy would still be doing it if he wasn't making the money he is? Nah. Dude has clearly been over this whole thing for years at this point. You just have to watch him for like an hour and you can tell that he's completely done with this whole thing. But what else is he gonna do, right? So he just keeps doing it and he's making sure that his retirement's taken care of, which I respect, right? It's a good way of providing for his family forever. So but yeah, I don't know. I guess it has to be some special kind of hell, right? When you're, like Colette said earlier, you're stuck in this thing. And you can only do that because if you change and try to do something else, you're basically putting yourself out of a job, right? Which is kind of scary. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a day's work in my life, but they won't let me live for free. Sometimes I wish I was a caveman. I feel that sometimes, yeah, Rico. Living off the grid, you know, growing your own food. Yeah, nice life. Yeah, Cassie. Yeah, or cheesy. Hey, listen, I get, you know, and ultimately that's why you work, right? I mean, how often do I think back to when I was a teacher and the money I was making? And I'm like, I could return to that right now if I wanted. I could be teaching next week if I wanted. And make so much money that it would probably feel tolerable to do it, even though I would probably, like, I would hate the job, but it would feel tolerable because of the money that I would be making. It would take me 2 months to make the same amount of money as I make an entire year streaming. Maybe even less. I don't know. But it's about future investments, right? Investing for the future. I don't know. retirement seems like a myth. The way it's going for a lot of us, I have a feeling, you know, I don't know. Yeah, Credo. Sure. Yeah, no, the world's doing great right now. Everything is fine. Hey, there's reasons to be optimistic. Death will come to us all. If that is not a relief, I don't know what is. The great equalizer, exactly. At least we know there's an end to all of this. We're not stuck in this forever. I think that's comforting, if you ask me, but I don't know. Yeah, Warren, imagine if there's an afterlife. Holy crap. Now that would be a terrible twist. Jesus. Oh, you thought you were getting out of this? Nah. This one lasts forever. This makes me want to watch The Good Place again. An afterlife where you're stuck playing David Cage's game on your own forever? Yeah, I don't know. Big conversation. I don't know. I need to sit down with myself and think and think about the kinds of experiments and the kind of stuff I can try and the ways I can sort of recreate the way I approach doing content and how I would like, you know, to attempt reinvigorate, you know, like sort of refreshing this channel going forward in terms of how the content's made. I don't think I can completely give up on doing video games, that's for sure, right? That's still one of the things I'm most passionate about, but I wish there was a way for me to just make sort of like the just chatting part of the stream more prominent. And I'm not sure how that manifests itself, I guess. I don't know if it's a matter of having days where I just do just chatting and days where we play games, or if it's a matter of every stream starting as a just chatting thing for like several hours where we actually like have a structure to it. You know, we actually intend on having conversations and watching things and, you know, like sort of moving forward like that. And then if we have some time, we play some video games. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just a matter of doing what I've been doing so far, but a different choice of game. I don't know. Maybe my choice of game has been subpar recently. I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit down and think. But I feel like it's gonna be the same as it always is. I just think about it and then I have no idea what's the best solution, so I just try something and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, I guess I can, Shepard, right? There's not a lot to be lost with trying things. I'm not sure exactly, Archeesy. It seemed it may have I may have a little more time than I thought in terms of, you know, well, I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. you have any interest in involving the community in potential brainstorming? I'm not sure, in the sense that I feel like this needs to be something that the focus of this sort of decision, if there is one moving forward, needs to be on what feels the most what feels best for me, right? That needs to be the focus. It's much less about like what do people want to do or see or watch, right? Yeah, that stream was very fun. I'm very excited about the super secret project because of that. And I'm not gonna say too much about it, but no. What's up, Cosmic? How are you doing today? That stream gave us the gift of Undertale? Did it? Wait, I'm confused. What's the connection between Undertale and the... Undertale was like the end of the year game. We had that planned for like over a year. Sounds like I'm wrong. It sure does, but it's okay. What won the list? Road 96. That game was great, by the way. And the Cageathon was also a thing that was on the list, yeah. The Cageathon was fun. I had fun doing that. There's a lot more of those games that I want to play, by the way. I think those games work really well on stream. Those kind of like cinematic, interactive things, right? Like all the Telltale games, those things. I don't know, $10. I think that was something that really had a bit of a flash in the pan moment when it comes to the Cage games, and that's pretty much it. Anyway. God, it's so tempting. That dude's such an asshole.
Been stuck out here too damn long. I'm itching to see some real action.
You're gonna get mad if I keep... Even... These people are very chill for having a gun pointed at their head.
You better get a move on. It's not a good idea to keep Paladin Danse waiting.
He's been waiting for days. He'll be fine.
I don't know what the hell's going on. If reinforcements are coming, they sure are taking their sweet time.
Hey, if Paladin Danse says they're coming, then they're coming. We just need to hold out a while longer.
I don't know, Halen. We've lost half our squad already. Even with this new guy helping. I hope we can stay alive long enough for them to get here.
We'll make it, big guy. We'll make it.
Why are you standing around here like there's nothing to do? Paladin Danse is waiting for you.
Alright. I'm gonna call it here for today, and I'm gonna sit with myself and think about this entire conversation we just had. And time to reevaluate life, exactly. I think that's the plan. And I'll let you guys know my findings. One way or another. I think I'm gonna start a Discord server for live notifications. I don't know. And potentially other stuff, we'll see. Anyway. Yeah, anyway, I don't have much to say. I'm in my head right now and I need to just sit with my own brain for a little bit. So I'm gonna wish you guys a beautiful rest of your day, evening, or night. I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, remember me, and I will remember you.